Breaking news tonight, Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested in a Manhattan hotel this evening after a grand jury indicted the music mogul. His attorney tells CNN that he is currently being processed. The charges are unclear as of this moment.
Sean Diddy Combs, the once untouchable music mogul, is now facing a reality that seems pulled straight out of a Hollywood drama. Once known for his lavish lifestyle, private jets, and exclusive parties, Diddy now finds himself locked away in one of the most notorious detention centers in the United States. The Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, often described as a place of unimaginable hardship, is a far cry from the mansions and hotel suites he once called home. For someone who once lived a life of excess, this sudden shift has shaken him to his core, and the world is watching his dramatic downfall unfold in real time.
So Diddy, if you're just joining us here, was just arrested and taken into federal custody in New York tonight. Sources tell TMZ Homeland Security swooped into a Midtown hotel late Monday where Diddy was staying, and they arrested him.
It's hard to overstate the severity of Diddy's current situation. Facing accusations that could see him incarcerated for decades, he's battling not just the legal system, but also the very real threat to his personal safety. His high-profile status, combined with the nature of the allegations against him, has made him a target both inside and outside the prison walls. According to his legal team, Diddy's life is in danger every second he remains behind bars. His attorney, Mark Agnifilo, has described the conditions at the detention center as inhumane, emphasizing that Diddy is not just fighting for his freedom, he's fighting to stay alive.
Incredible. And, it brings into context our whole system of innocent till proven guilty. Why is he not being given bond? And, we could debate that all day long. Of all people that's unlikely to flee or get away, well, he's got the resources to flee, but he's so recognizable. And isn't he innocent till proven guilty? Well, yeah, but, we have to recognize there are degrees of innocent till proven guilty.
The Metropolitan Detention Center, or MDC, is infamous for its brutal conditions. Inmates often describe it as a place where hope goes to die. Reports have surfaced over the years of overcrowding, unsanitary conditions, and violence among detainees. For Diddy, who is accustomed to a life of luxury, this environment is nothing short of a nightmare. Gone are the days of designer suits. Now his reality consists of cold steel beds, thin mattresses, and bland meals served on plastic trays. He wakes up every morning staring at cinder-block walls, a stark reminder of how far he has fallen. Adding to the drama, Diddy's legal team has made multiple attempts to secure his release on bail, offering what they describe as an unprecedented package. They've proposed everything from a bond worth tens of millions to house arrest at his Miami mansion, complete with 24/7 surveillance. Yet, despite these offers, judges have repeatedly denied bail, citing concerns about witness tampering and the severity of the charges. One judge even stated that no amount of money could guarantee the safety of those involved in the case if Diddy were released. It's a crushing blow for the mogul, who is used to getting his way.
Legitimate concern. No judge wants to wake up and read the headlines the next day. Oh, they treated this guy special and they gave him bond, and now he's gone and he fled from justice. So that's what's in the back of most judges' minds. On the other hand, we deal with cases where clients have significant funds sometimes, and sometimes where there's money, you can craft a unique solution. Years ago it was the ankle bracelet and the ankle monitor.
Inside the detention center, Diddy's struggles are becoming increasingly evident. Reports suggest that he's having a hard time adjusting to the harsh realities of prison life. Sources close to him claim that he's paranoid, fearing for his safety at every turn. This paranoia has reportedly led him to refuse prison meals, worried that someone might try to harm him through his food. Instead, he's allegedly surviving on commissary snacks like chips and packaged pastries. While his legal team insists he's staying focused and strong, insiders paint a different picture, a man who is unraveling under the pressure.
That with all the money he has and all the resources he has, they couldn't craft some solution that lets him be under some form of house arrest. And again, it sounds like special treatment, but the truth of the matter is, to incarcerate somebody like him is expensive to all of us. We're taxpayers, and he's got to have unique situations. You can't put him in general population where, everyone wants a piece of him and everyone wants to be his friend and everyone. So
Diddy's fears aren't entirely unfounded. MDC has a reputation for being a dangerous place, even for ordinary inmates. For someone of Diddy's stature, the risks are exponentially higher. Former inmates and prison consultants have spoken out, warning that his celebrity status makes him an easy target. One expert, Larry Levine, suggested that Diddy's fears of being poisoned aren't far-fetched, citing the facility's history of corruption and its connections to outside influences. People want to make a name for themselves, Levine said. Taking out someone like Diddy would give them instant notoriety. Compounding these fears is Diddy's placement in the Special Housing Unit, or SHU, a section of the prison designed for inmates who require additional security. While this may protect him from the general population, it comes with its own set of challenges. Inmates in the SHU are kept in near total isolation, spending 23 hours a day in their cells with minimal human contact. For someone like Diddy, who thrives on social interaction and the spotlight, this isolation is particularly brutal. It's no wonder that sources claim he's already reached his breaking point.
Well, Sierra, anything's possible, right? But now this judge has an even harder time, I think, because the past judge locked him up, didn't let him out, and he's still there available for trial. If the new judge lets him out on bond and something goes wrong, and this isn't the analysis that I'm proud to make, right? We shouldn't be saying, well, judges are worried about their own skin and how they look if something bad happens.
There have even been reports of Diddy being placed on self-harm watch, a precaution often taken with high-profile inmates. While his legal team has downplayed these claims, insiders insist that the pressures of his situation are taking a toll on his mental health. One source described a recent incident where Diddy allegedly had a breakdown in his cell, begging guards to take him to the medical unit. Although he eventually calmed himself down, the episode highlights just how dire his circumstances have become.
Try everything. They're going to try to transfer him. They're going to try to get him out. In a normal case where it's a high-profile person or a well-funded person, the prosecution and the judge is a little bit more concerned about wrongful prosecution, because people that are mad that they're being arrested for a crime they didn't commit can turn around and file for malicious prosecution.
Amidst all this, Diddy's legal team is working tirelessly to prepare for his trial. They face an uphill battle, not just because of the charges, but also because of the sheer volume of evidence the prosecution has amassed. According to reports, federal investigators have collected thousands of documents, recordings, and other materials related to the case. Diddy's attorneys have described the process of reviewing this evidence as monumental, made even more challenging by the restrictions of his incarceration. They've petitioned the court for additional resources, including access to a laptop, but even these small victories do little to ease the overall burden. Outside the courtroom, the media frenzy surrounding Diddy's case has reached a fever pitch. Every new development is dissected and analyzed, with rumors and speculation running rampant. From alleged secret recordings to whispers of other high-profile individuals being implicated, the story has captivated the public's attention. For Diddy, who has spent decades carefully crafting his image, this level of scrutiny is both a personal and professional nightmare. His brand, once synonymous with success and glamour, is now overshadowed by scandal.
He will be sued, and I say will be because nothing has been filed yet, by at least 120 people in the next 30 days.
Even his family has not been spared from the fallout. During a recent court appearance, Diddy was seen mouthing the words, "You okay?" to one of his sons, a moment that was captured by reporters and quickly went viral. The exchange, while brief, offered a glimpse into the emotional toll this ordeal is taking on everyone involved. For his children, who grew up idolizing their father, seeing him in this state must be devastating. As the weeks turn into months, the question on everyone's mind is, what's next for Diddy? His legal team is pushing for a speedy trial, hoping to minimize the time he spends in detention. But with the prosecution continuing to build its case, it's unclear how soon that might happen. In the meantime, Diddy remains behind bars, grappling with a reality he never imagined for himself. Whether he's guilty or innocent, one thing is certain: the man who once seemed invincible is now facing the fight of his life.
I thought Diddy would be throwing all his celebrity mates under the bus.
I mean, that could potentially be coming when it's time for court and when it's time for him to testify. But what we're seeing right now is how important public relations really are to Sean Combs. He's desperately trying to control the narrative behind bars, allowing his attorneys to do documentaries.
The courtroom battles surrounding Sean Diddy Combs have become a whirlwind of accusations, counterclaims, and shocking revelations, all of which are dominating headlines across the globe. But beyond the legal drama, the story unfolding inside the Metropolitan Detention Center is equally gripping. The music mogul, once regarded as untouchable, has been brought face-to-face with the harsh realities of incarceration, and it's exposing cracks in a persona that once appeared unbreakable. Now, with the prosecution tightening its grip and Diddy's defense team scrambling for strategies, the stakes have never been higher. What's becoming more apparent by the day is that this is not just a legal case. It's a battle for his legacy and survival. As the trial looms closer, Diddy's legal team is facing mounting pressure to address the mountain of evidence that federal investigators have reportedly uncovered. According to insiders, the prosecution has compiled a staggering amount of material, including recordings, digital messages, and testimonies from individuals who claim to have been close to the center of Diddy's alleged activities. One source familiar with the case even noted that the evidence is so extensive it could take months, if not years, to sift through. For Diddy's attorneys, this is nothing short of a logistical nightmare. Working under the restrictions of their clients' incarceration is challenging enough, but the sheer volume of what they're up against has made the situation even more daunting.
In her civil lawsuit, Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
Meanwhile, the prosecution appears to be playing its cards carefully, building a case that they believe will leave little room for doubt. Reports suggest that they're not just relying on physical evidence, but are also bringing in witnesses who could potentially turn the tide against Diddy. These witnesses, according to speculation, may include former associates, employees, and even individuals from Diddy's inner circle. The question is, will these witnesses paint a picture of a man who manipulated his power and influence for personal gain, or will their testimonies be dismissed as part of an elaborate attempt to tarnish his reputation?
This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do it quickly.
One of the most controversial pieces of evidence in the case is the now infamous set of recordings, referred to as the freak-off tapes. These recordings, allegedly seized during raids on Diddy's properties, have become a focal point of the public's fascination with the case. While the exact contents of these tapes remain a closely guarded secret, rumors have run wild. Some speculate that they contain damning evidence, while others, including Diddy's legal team, claim that the tapes prove their client's innocence. In a surprising move, Diddy's attorneys recently acknowledged the existence of the tapes, arguing that they depict consensual activities and nothing more. These tapes are being used to sensationalize this case, one member of his defense team stated. But when viewed objectively, they only confirm that no laws were broken. The prosecution, however, seems to have a different interpretation. They've hinted that the tapes may reveal a pattern of behavior that aligns with the charges Diddy is facing. If true, this could be a game changer not just for the trial, but for how the public perceives the once beloved music icon. Adding to the intrigue is the possibility that other high-profile figures could be implicated. Whispers about the involvement of celebrities, business moguls, and industry insiders have fueled speculation that this case could blow the lid off a much larger scandal. For now, though, these rumors remain just that, rumors.
A U.S. judge has ruled that the rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs will stand trial on federal trafficking and racketeering charges in May. He'll be held in prison until then. Sean Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges that he used his business empire to transport women and male workers across state lines to take part in recorded performances. If convicted, he could face a life sentence.
While the legal battle rages on, Diddy's life behind bars continues to make headlines. Sources inside the Metropolitan Detention Center have described him as increasingly withdrawn, a stark contrast to the larger-than-life persona he cultivated during his decades of fame. One former inmate who spoke anonymously described the environment as suffocating, adding that someone like Diddy, who is used to controlling every aspect of his life, would find it particularly unbearable.
Hey, real quickly, all that commissary stuff, he's not getting any of that because people in the SHU have an abbreviated list. So he's out of luck. No stake for him. Yeah, he is on watch. This guy thought he would have went home. All of a sudden, he didn't get bond. Remember, the first night that he was there.
It's not just the isolation that's taking a toll on Diddy. Reports suggest that he's also struggling with the physical conditions of the facility. Unlike the luxurious surroundings he's accustomed to, the detention center offers little in the way of comfort. Meals are basic, the cells are cramped, and personal privacy is almost non-existent. According to insiders, Diddy has taken to spending most of his time in his cell, avoiding interactions with other inmates as much as possible. Some have even suggested that he's requested to remain in solitary confinement, not as a punishment, but as a means of self-preservation.
Understand that he has a shrink coming by his cell to see him several times a day. And now there's talk about putting him in, it's like a bubble. It's like a cell that has like a plexiglass wall in it where they have inmates watching you. That's actually their job, to keep an eye on the inmates that are on watch.
This strategy, however, comes with its own set of challenges. Solitary confinement, while offering a degree of safety, is notorious for its psychological effects. Prolonged isolation can lead to anxiety, depression, and even hallucinations. For someone like Diddy, who thrives on attention and social interaction, this could be particularly damaging. It's no surprise, then, that rumors of mental instability have begun to surface. One report claimed that Diddy recently experienced a panic episode during which he allegedly pleaded with guards to let him speak to his legal team. While his representatives have denied these claims, they've done little to quell the speculation. Adding to Diddy's woes is the increasing scrutiny on those around him. Several of his former associates have reportedly been named in lawsuits and could be called to testify during the trial. This has led to speculation that some might strike deals with prosecutors in exchange for leniency, potentially turning against Diddy in the process. It's a scenario that his legal team is undoubtedly preparing for, but one that could complicate their defense strategy significantly.
Now, to the latest on the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs. This one has so many people talking. The disgraced music mogul facing federal racketeering, conspiracy, and trafficking charges. Both the prosecution and defense teams are set to discuss the next phase of action following the indictment, as investigators work to determine potential co-conspirators. But how exactly did we get here?
Outside the walls of the detention center, the ripple effects of Diddy's legal troubles are being felt across the entertainment industry. Brands and business partners have begun distancing themselves from the embattled mogul, a move that could have long-term implications for his career. His once loyal fan base is also showing signs of division. While some continue to support him, others have expressed disappointment and even outrage over the allegations. Social media, in particular, has become a battleground for opinions, with hashtags both defending and condemning Diddy trending regularly. Perhaps most heartbreaking is the impact on Diddy's family. His children, who have largely stayed out of the spotlight, are now being thrust into an unwelcome narrative. During a recent court appearance, one of his sons was spotted in the gallery, visibly emotional as he watched his father interact with his defense team. It's a stark reminder that while Diddy may be the one on trial, the consequences of this case extend far beyond him.
I think it's to be expected, just the shock of this and the questions about what is ahead of us. I mean, how long is he going to be in custody? Is this an R. Kelly situation? Is he going to not get out for a number of years? Is he going to end up serving a long-term prison sentence from this? Or does he have a chance of beating these charges at a trial that could come, within the next 2 years?
As the trial date approaches, the tension surrounding the case continues to escalate. Diddy's legal team has expressed frustration over delays, arguing that their client is entitled to a fair and speedy trial. "We're ready to present our case," one of his attorneys said during a recent interview. But the longer this drags on, the harder it becomes to ensure that justice is served. Prosecutors, however, seem content to take their time, believing that a meticulous approach will yield the strongest results. For now, all eyes are on the courtroom, where the battle between Diddy and the justice system is playing out in real time. The stakes couldn't be higher, not just for Diddy, but for everyone connected to this case. Whether he's ultimately found guilty or cleared of all charges, one thing is certain: the story of Sean Diddy Combs is far from over. As new details emerge and the trial moves forward, the world will be watching, waiting to see how this chapter in the life of one of music's most iconic figures will come to an end, or perhaps a new beginning.
So yesterday, Monday, Diddy celebrated his 55th birthday, but this year was a lot different. It was no Diddy parties. It was none of that. None of that stuff. Well, happily so, I guess, right now. But anyway, so this is his first birthday behind bars.
As Diddy's future hangs in the balance, the world watches with bated breath. But what do you think? Is this a case of a celebrity being unfairly targeted, or is there more to the story than meets the eye? And how will Diddy's legacy hold up under the weight of these allegations? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this ongoing saga. Until next time.